Good evening, this is Mike B., the Silver Devil, the Dark God of the Klippa. You're in the Temple of Sitra, the Temple of the Backward Stream. Good evening, welcome. Tonight we're going to talk about a couple of things that I think we haven't covered yet, and I'd like to cover it. Tonight we're going to talk about a class of spirits that is very well known, but very misunderstood. And we're going to talk about it and maybe clear some things up, and I'm going to share some experiences with you, and hopefully we have some new understanding. So, all right. Okay. Tonight, I want to talk with you about familiar spirits. There are several spirits in the Goetic that grant familiars. I'm going to go ahead and list them off. Hold on. No, let me go backwards. Every Goetic spirit can grant you a familiar, okay? Orobus has 20 legions of spirits. A legion is 6,000 spirits. Okay, so 6,000 times 10 would be 60,000. Times 20 would be 120,000. That means Orobus has 120,000 subordinates underneath him, most of which he took from the Virtues Choir of fallen angels. Okay? When I give Orobus a task, Orobus himself doesn't get up and go do what I ask, okay? No. He delegates it to subordinates. Now, what if there are 100 magicians asking at the same exact time? Orobus only has so many resources that he can devote, so how does he prioritize? That is where your relationship with him becomes a deciding factor. How close is he to you? How important are you to him? Okay? That right there, like if you're a newcomer, okay, and you don't even know him, like you've never worked with him before and you're asking him for things already, you're like at the lowest level of priority. Like you're going to be lucky if you get answered. You're going to be really lucky if you get anything manifested for you because he just doesn't know you. He doesn't give a fuck. I mean, he's busy with other things, you know. You need to be introduced to him. You need to get to know him. You need to not be asking him for things like right when you first meet him, you know. That's crazy. Get to know him. Say, hey, I'd like to know more about you. I'd like you to show me yourself in dreams or in synchronicity. And he will. And then you guys can build a relationship. And then you can start asking for things and asking for what you can do for him. That's a better way. Now let's get back to familiars. There are several Goetic spirits that are particularly well known for familiars. I'm going to go over who they are first, okay? We've got Valifor, all right? Now, Valifor is extremely special because Valifor himself can be persuaded to serve as a familiar to a magician. Can you imagine having a Goetic spirit as your familiar? These motherfuckers are strong like you can't believe. I mean, Valifor is not even a super strong one, but even him, that's a lot of power. A lot of power. So anyway, Valifor, you got Malthus, all right? You've got Shax, Amdusius, Alisar, Orobus, Paimon, Marax, and Ronave. Now, I've had Malthus as familiars, and I've had Amdusius as familiars. And man, Amdusius has some really good familiars. I'm going to be really honest with you. Okay, what is a familiar? Okay. Basically anything that spirit is known for and can do, like Ronave. He teaches the science of rhetoric. If you don't know what rhetoric is talking, how to be persuasive with your speech. Okay. He gives faithful servants, he finds the favor of friends and foe alike, and gives knowledge of languages. So basically, anything that I just discussed there that you want to have on a full-time basis, you can get a familiar for. That way, you don't have to bother Ronave for every single little thing. Ronave grants you a familiar, all right? This familiar is empowered to act on his behalf, and you just tell the familiar what you want it to do. On a daily basis. Familiar, today I need you to do this. Right now, I need you to do this. Boom, boom, boom. When you ask for a familiar, you're going to you need to ask for a name, okay? A name of the familiar. And then you need to write down the sigil of the familiar. And the spirit's going to give you both of those. If you just meditate, relax, it's going to show you in your mind. You're going to know it's right. Do not give those out to other people. That was for you. I can steal your familiar if I know its name and I know the sigil. All right? And magicians do that shit. They are janky. They will steal each other's familiars. That's foul. But it happens. All right. All right. Now, so how do you handle familiars? What do you do with them? You need to have a place for your familiar to go. You're going to inscribe the seal and the sigil on a piece of paper with the name. You are going to hide this somewhere in your temple where it's safe and other people aren't going to touch it. All right. I recommend when you ask the signature spirit, like Ronave, Marax, Paimon, for the familiar in the first place, he's going to tell you what the conditions are. And the conditions are typically you have to take care of the feeding and the energizing of the spirit. I would frequently have to give meat and cheese to Malphas's familiar on Fridays or Tuesdays. If you forget once, it's not good. If you forget twice, they're going to be saying, hey, there's a problem. And if you do it 3 times, man, they're going to repossess the familiar. They're going to just take it back. You're not going to have it anymore. They may ask you for a service in exchange for their familiar, because familiars don't grow on trees. To teach a spirit how to be able to serve in the material plane, it takes a lot of training, all right? And those are special servants. So you can have a lot of fun with familiars. Familiars are not the same things as ancestral spirits, okay, or guardian spirits, or guardian angels, or guardian demons. Familiar spirits are different. You can have a familiar spirit for a very long time, too. A lifetime, you know. If you work with a spirit frequently, it doesn't matter if it's one of the ones that says they can do it. All the Goetics can do this. You could say, hey, instead of bothering you all the time, King Dale, can I get a familiar sent? And he can handle the little things that I need, so I don't have to bother you all the time. Yeah, King Bale will be like, yeah, sure, that sounds great, but this is what I want in exchange. This is how you need to take care of it. This is the name. This is the sigil. Those are the things you need to ask and clarify, okay? And when you make a deal, you need to honor it, because if you fail, and I fucked up a couple of times. I got two familiars repossessed, one by Amdusius and one by Malthus. I looked like a horse's ass. I mean, the spirits were talking about me for weeks. It was very embarrassing. I do better bookkeeping and record keeping now so that things like that don't happen nowadays. But anyway, yeah, you have to honor your commitments. All right. So anyway, that's all I got for tonight, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you have any questions about familiar spirits or anything that we just discussed, leave it in the comments section and I'll get back with you. That's all I got for tonight. This is Mike B., Silver Devil, the Dark God of the Klippa. This is the Temple of Sitra Akra, the Temple of the Backwards Tree. Subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you on Friday.